Hey, podcast listeners, this is Nate from the Made It podcast. Wanted to reach out to any founders, growth marketers, sales leaders listening. We've made a community just for you, and we wanted to invite you to join. We have growth playbooks for you to use, instructional events, a few dozen every month to learn how to use the latest technology, even some free services that can be helpful to help your company grow. The first 1,000 people to join are free. We've created a link. You can click on it in the bio for this episode. We hope you'll join us over at our community. Hi there, this is Nate Houghton with the Made It podcast. Wanted to let you know that this episode is supported by Rush Imhotep. Rush is a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. He's one of our preferred advisors that we like to connect people with, specializes in working with individuals with non-traditional career paths like entrepreneurs. If you want to learn more or connect with Rush, you should go to wealthwithrush.com. The link is in the episode bio below. Check it out. Let us know what you think.
Welcome to Made It with Connor Tompkins.
Last time I was talking to you, so this is Benji Markoff, and he's fantastic. I think you were episode 3, episode 4.
I painfully listened to part of our podcast last time.
It's very hard to listen to yourself. It's very hard to watch yourself. But there's 2 things that stood out whenever I was watching your podcast. And
Yes.
one is I said Schvitz instead of Schvitz in the very first 5 seconds of it. And the Schvitz is a new podcast where you interview people inside a sauna that's inside your backyard. And you've done a few episodes since then. So you said
It's a private podcast. No one has access to it other than me at this point.
You said people are dying. People are dropping.
People are struggling in the 200-degree heat.
Do you think you're going to drop the temperature or drop the time, or are you just going to be like, you got to be tough to be in the Schvitz?
Yeah, no, I think it's more so finding people that are can tough it out.
Is it business content or is it life content?
It's life content.
We don't know what's going to be yet.
I think I never know within each episode what we're going to talk about. Part of the problem is sometimes when you're sweating bullets and you're kind of delirious and it's minute 15, I just start asking weird questions. And so some of those questions are business related. Some of those questions are completely nonsensical.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And that's the interesting kind of part of the journey of why I wanted to do it. Right. Cause I'm like, it's, for me, I'm overexposed to so much like business content all the time, like very specific, like entrepreneurial related business content. And I live that day to day, right? I think that, it's one of the reasons why I haven't even published any of the content yet is I'm just learning myself from the conversations I'm having with people. That's kind of why I'm doing it in the first place. It's just a vehicle to get weird and have weird conversations and see what comes out of it. And usually there's a few nuggets from that I'm like, oh, I never thought about,
Do you think it would have come out if you guys were not in the sauna together?
No, definitely not.
It's because of the sauna, 100%.
I feel like it might be similar to if someone started a podcast in a ayahuasca retreat.
There's 2 different things I pronunciated wrong in the first podcast. So the first was the Schvitz, not the shits. The second is I said paddle, not Padel.
Well, there's a big debate on whether it's called paddle or Padel.
Oh, it's a debate.
Yeah. You're not in the wrong by saying paddle.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
Globally, internationally, it's called paddle.
Okay.
And
so I was international.
Yes, exactly. You're just a more well-traveled man,
Yeah, that's what that is.
And in the U.S., some people call it Padel, some people call it paddle. In the Northeast, it's confusing to say paddle because there's already a sport called paddle tennis. On top of that, I just think Padel sounds cooler.
It does sound cool.
It sounds more foreign.
When you said it that way, I was instantly intrigued.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Target versus Target, but
That sounds so painful.
Less douchey, maybe. I don't know. I also with our brand is Padel United Sports Club, and I think just the alliteration of that, or the way that sounds coming off the tongue, it sounds nicer to me, in my own head, than Paddle United Sports Club. But the public can decide. They can call whatever, as long as they show up, they can call whatever they want.
I'm not sure if my phone was listening when I was talking to you, but ever since I got a lot of TikTok content on Padel,
yeah.
And I've been getting I'm relatively hooked. And there's also something in Brooklyn,
Paddle House.
Yeah, have you been?
I have. I'm actually gonna head over there after this, anyways.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's they were the first ones to open up in the Northeast.
How long does it take to play a game?
A match, usually people book for 90-minute sessions.
90-minute sessions. Okay. I'm trying to see if
you can book
there's
for an
enough
hour
window for me to get in there and learn.
Yeah, you can book for an hour. Typical matches, depending on how good of a quality of a match it is. typically be 90 minutes.
If we were to play, it would be a quality match.
Of course.
It would
We got
be only
two
quality.
quality gents here.
Just prime athletic ability.
Exactly.
Just killing it. So there's actually a few different things I wanted to show you. So one is I found like a mini version of Padel. And I sent you that video. Did you get a chance to see
Is this the one, what's it called, ping pong Padel? That one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like fun.
Yeah.
It looks like something that you could set up like in this room. Like it's not like it's relatively tight, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's literally just like a glass box around a ping pong table.
yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Are you going to set one up in your club?
No.
No.
I have a very, for the club, I have a very specific like vision for it, which is like, it's the idea behind what we're doing with like United Sports Club is like focusing on a singular sport.
Okay.
Right now that focus is on Padel.
Yeah.
And then combining that with like social wellness club modalities. So cryo, cold plunge, sauna, steam room, red light therapy, EMF,
hot, cold, in between.
Yes, all that stuff. And the idea behind it is like kind of like a modern age, suburbia country club.
We were talking with another guest about like it's different in like Russia and Eastern European countries how they do sauna. Like they get the birch sticks and then they hire an old guy that's been around the block that knows exactly how to do it, and he pushes the heat from the top of the sauna down. Did you find like an old guy on Craigslist to help you with the sauna?
I'm a big believer in, especially early on, you got to wear all the hats.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I am the old guy
Guys,
right now.
These hats are awesome. I had a wool hat with like moose horns.
Oh, I have a great hat. I don't have my phone on me. I'll show you after. But the hats say, I found these hats on, I don't know, some like Russian Alibaba sort of website that said like, they look like sailor hats and they say sweat captain on it.
You were talking about business content, and I definitely relate as far as I consume so much business content.
Yeah.
And there's also, and for how much I consume, there's not a lot of variety of business content. It seems like it's very much like, how did you build
How did you do what you
this?
did? Right.
Yeah. Can you break this down for me so that way people can like build a insurance company from scratch?
Right.
And that's incredibly hard to do. And so I was wondering, what type of business content do you think is lacking? Like, what do you think we're missing?
I think it depends on the person. I'm coming at it from the perspective and from the experience of chasing my dreams already, being an entrepreneur. So I think that like the vehicle that like or the medium that I'm looking for and like the content I'm looking for, I think is probably very different from someone who hasn't made that jump yet.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that there's like really good motivational sort of content around that journey, the story. And I think it's important to tell those stories because it's really relatable, I think, I look at like my story, I hear other people's entrepreneurial journeys and their stories. And I know early on, before I took that leap, like those stories motivated me to be like, I can do this as well. And then I think once you get past that point, past that stage, like for me, I'm more interested in kind of the rest of that person's life.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that makes sense.
So I care less about, how did you go about starting this business? Just because I kind of know the tropes of that, right? There are so many similarities between everyone's success or failure, everyone's entrepreneurial journey. There's like an 80% of it is very similar, right? And the other 20% are the nuances and details related maybe to that industry or that business. And all those things are super helpful to understand.
Right.
I want to know, like at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep and you're thinking about 500 things, what gets you to fall back asleep, right? Or how do you, when you're, for
I
me, like
cry so hard that then I go back to sleep.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I let the tears warm me up and comfort me. Or I'm like, okay, or for me, like something that's relatable for me is, okay, I have a family, I have 3 kids. I started my first business, not married with no kids.
Right.
Right. And so like my world is very different now, but the mode in which I need to operate in as an entrepreneur to be successful in any new endeavor, I only know one path towards that success, which is the path that I've experienced. And so where can I be flexible in that path? And what are new strategies or new processes that I need to implement in order to kind of have it all, so to speak.
If there was like a theme for this podcast, I almost feel like it's like treating entrepreneurship like a cycle or like a career, right? Because you talk about like entrepreneurship often in the framework of a company, like one company, beginning, middle, end being that you sell your business. But for a lot of entrepreneurs, they go on and start another business. If you think about like a 3 to 8 year window where companies are started, grow, sold, right? Normally a career is what, 30, 40 years, right?
Exactly.
Maybe longer. So that's what, like 5, 6 companies. And then like, those are the ones that make it. And so the ones that don't make it, you're like, have successful or questionable exit, maybe a good exit. And then like 3 or 5 different things, right? That either worked or don't work. And then like people go different routes. And like, I would probably say 60% go on to start like a new business. I think your story is unique because you started these businesses that are in line with your stage of life. Like you sold the business and then you're like, I want to interact with my kids. I'm starting a business so that my kids can see this part of it. And I'm very passionate about Padel. And I really want to do this. And I want to see this vision kind of come to reality. So I think that's cool.
I'm just doing something that's interesting to me right now.
Yeah.
Like beforehand.
You don't find insurance like super interesting?
Not anymore. I've had a lot of, I've had a lot. Although the truth is I did at that time.
Right.
And it was the opportunities that presented itself through like the platform of insurance. It's like this like blank slate to be able to be creative from a like business execution standpoint and strategy perspective. I think were really interesting to me at that time. It's not anymore. And so because it's not what I'm going to, pursue. I will say though, when I started that business, I think I hear a lot of people talk about like different podcasts. They talk about, you have to do it for the passion, right? And you can't do it for the money, right?
Okay.
You hear this all. At least I read this, hear this all the time. Like if you're starting a business or you're going on a path in your career because it's going to make you a lot of money, it's not going to be successful, or you're not going to enjoy doing that.
Right.
I vehemently disagree with that. I think that if that's the only reason, sure, because that can get very old very quickly.
Yeah.
And you need like other kind of components of passion to like get you through the different hard points in that journey.
It could be so many different things. It could be the team that you're like, oh, I like working with these people.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Or you find out that you like recruiting and that's inside the company. You're talking to cool people.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that I look back at when I started Founder Shield and I knew we could make a lot of money doing it. So I was very excited about that process.
Money is okay, guys.
I didn't have any money. So I was like, oh, that would be cool to have some.
That would be pretty nice, yeah.
And it's cool to have more as well. I'm going to sound like such an asshole on this.
Benji, I feel like, some people saw your episode before, but probably like, let's say like 70, 80% are like new subscribers or new people that haven't seen your content before or don't know who you are. So if we were to do like a trailer halfway in the show and maybe we cut it, put in the beginning so people are like, who is Benji? Why should I listen to him? What would you say your trailer is?
Are we gonna put in some like Mad Max, like Furiosa, like trailer music behind this?
Oh yeah, we're on it.
All right, okay, good. We have a green screen. Oh, this is like a green screen behind me. We can do it
with AI.
All right, put me on a chariot. Give me one robot arm. Go. Why should you listen to me? Honestly, you probably, if you're here already, you're going to continue to listen. So just strap on and enjoy the ride. I think that you might want to be listening to me because I've had some successes from a business standpoint, and you might be interested in learning from those experiences. Most importantly, though, you're probably here because this is your 10th podcast of the day around entrepreneurship, and you're looking for something slightly different. And I'm a little unhinged, so I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you the real answers, or at least my own perspective of what the real answers are, because I've already had success. So now I can, I feel like I'm uncancelable and I can just shoot the shit and say it like it is.
Give us a high level of the company that you started. And also, didn't you say like nips blazing interviews or something in the first podcast? I think that might be one of the taglines for the show.
It might have. I like I told you,
it was unhinged in the right way.
I cringely listened to part of it. And then I was like, after 5 minutes, I'm like, I've heard myself speak enough. I'm
You
good.
didn't call mistakenly call your guest podcast the Schvitz though. I mean, like you didn't do that.
You know what? It's fine. Like, honestly, that I'm percolating on a new idea for a podcast now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna crowd the podcast market with horrible podcast content.
The company and the exit really quick.
Okay. Company we started was called Founder Shield and Scale Underwriting. It's 2 companies, 2 for the price of 1. The idea behind it was a tech-enabled, vertically integrated commercial insurance platform. We bootstrapped the whole way, started in 2012, sold in 2021 for 9 figures. Now I'm on to some other cool shit.
And he did. You worked with like Coinbase when they were getting their insurance product out.
Yeah, Coinbase, Robinhood.
Insurance for startups.
Insurance for startups, exactly.
And now you're doing Padel. What's the name of the sports complex that you bought?
Padel United Sports Club.
Well, didn't you do another one for
Superdome
children?
Sports.
Superdome Sports.
So Superdome Sports is kind of like my vehicle that I acquired because it was a healthy operating business with net cash flow, net positive cash flow, and the idea there was like, let me see how things run and operate there, and what I can learn from that as like a stepping stone into like this endeavor of building my own company from scratch in this industry.
Do you feel like it gave you the green light? Like you learned enough?
I think I would have done it either way. It gave me the yellow light. Which is my version.
Proceed
of
with caution.
Which is when I see the yellow light, I speed up. So I'm like, okay,
yellow light, punch it.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I think a green light I kind of steer away from.
Okay.
Because I'm like, oh, if this is so obvious to me,
yeah,
like I don't think of it as. I think like the obvious ideas are ones that are like easily like disruptible, right? And welcome a lot of potential competition.
Okay.
The yellow light stuff, the stuff that is like people like, is that really a good idea? I don't know. Like that's where I see the green light.
When people feel slightly uncomfortable,
yes,
then that's probably a sign, potentially a positive.
Exactly. Like when I was getting feedback for the Padel stuff, like what if the sport doesn't take off, right? Or what if like suburbanites don't want this sort of like high-end social wellness experience?
They totally do. That's a standard thing.
I live in there.
You're like, I am the target market.
Yeah, exactly. I am Sparta.
I am Padel. Because this is our second time around, I was thinking we could watch other people's content and react
make fun of them
to that content. You can decide however you want to react,
okay.
Right? Like this is a blank slate. Let me see if I can pull up some stuff for us.
I just mentioned that I was uncancelable, but I don't want to be like hated by people.
Yeah, please go to the Padel club, guys. Please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything too extreme here. Let me see. Cool. I'm going to show you videos, and we are just going to react.
Kentaro Yoshifuji, or Ori for short. And Ori, who kind of
she looks like a
villain,
badass.
He loves to dress in all black like he's a Sith Lord, is actually the furthest thing from one. You see, Ori here started and runs a cafe that's mostly run by these robots. But
could you do this at your Padel club?
I wouldn't.
Like a robot ball boy or something?
No. I hate this.
You don't think that there should be robots in restaurants?
No, I would go to a restaurant to talk to people.
Are you intentionally nice to your computers or anything?
No.
Any AIs take over?
Not at all. If they take over, they can...
Look, it's kind of cute.
Avatar robots and even barista robots.
They have different robots for different things.
I absolutely... I'm sure they're going to crush it.
There's something to this. Wait, hold on.
Control these avatars and work at dawn.
So did you get that? They have people that aren't able to like move or interact with people interact with robots.
Okay, that's a nice thing.
Yeah. Laboratories has one mission to eliminate loneliness from the human race.
How is this going to eliminate loneliness?
Well, that's the thing is that the people that cannot move, that are like possibly disabled or have like an issue with like mobility challenges, are able to work inside of restaurants or stores.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of like a humanitarian.
I'm pessimistic about that angle. I think that's a nice tagline.
It is a nice kind of like tagline.
And fast forward to when Ori becomes an adult, one of his closest friends gets a terminal disease.
Okay, so I guess he was also his villain arc. I guess he's also someone that went through this as far as being bedridden.
Right. which
reminded Audie of the days
those
that he
4
was
years
housebound
alone
when
might
he was
explain
sick
his
during
fashion
school.
choices
So he
as
founded
well.
Audie
I don't know,
Laboratories
man. I
and
like it.
invented these Audie Hives.
It's kind of like the
These Audie
opposite of
Hives are
what
not
you're
just
wearing
made
right
to
now.
go
Like, this guy is like
Exactly.
trench coat.
He's like in the Matrix right now.
Yeah. But I think what's cool about this is that it's service industry. You're combining like robotics. You're combining it with like interaction with, they can control it with their eyes.
Right.
So like the robot can move.
I think this is great for the people who are disabled and unable to interact with other humans, but as a business, like
movements and reactions.
I think the opposite is what's missing from like the world, right? Meaning like human interaction is like at an all-time low right now.
Right.
Interpersonal human reaction.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm sure people can like in the comment section can like put in a link to like the actual studies that show this. So I'll talk off the cuff on this stuff. Like there are definitely studies that have been done that show that like the like neural activity that happens when you're in person with someone, right? And you're looking at them and talking to them, and like in a physical space is very different from a Zoom, right? Like take it for example, like our interview here, right?
Yeah.
This is in person. The last one was over Zoom, right? It's a very different feeling.
Was your
I feel
brain
like
like completely turned off during our Zoom interview, but now that you're here, you're like,
you probably got maybe like 75% of my brain.
I got 75 Benji.
Yeah,
and now I'm getting 100%, 120%.
No, I'll give you 95 too. I want to get invited for a third time, right?
All right,
then
all
I'll
right.
blow this thing up.
We're building up to this.
No, but I think that at least for my new business, which is like in retail and it's experiential, like I think that there's something beautiful about creating like real human connection with other people, right? It's the same thing like with Padel. Like Padel, you play with 3 other people, right?
Okay, yeah. And you have to find those people to play with.
Well, that's part of it. And there's definitely a social aspect because you're confined to like a glass box and you can all hear each other and talk to each other and strategize and communicate. And then you go hit the sauna after, or hit a cold plunge or something like that. And you grab a drink and you're talking. On top of that, like the point of that is that I bet you like we can invest in 3 robotic Padel players, right? And now I could play by myself with 3 robots,
and
right?
then you lose that. Unless the robots have really good personalities and they develop over time, and then they become like humans, and then they become like
if they're indistinguishable from humans, then
we need to think about their needs.
I guess.
And maybe their robotic brains get lit up whenever they interact with you.
I mean, this is a perfect topic for Rogan.
The robots are taking over.
Yes, exactly.
So like there's Neuralink, right?
Right.
So they're looking for another person to embed the chip, but it is enabling people to interact in ways where they can't before. Like that person could not be on the internet. Right. This person who's like bedridden cannot maybe hold down a job. Now he's like a robot.
Well, so let me ask you then, like, so here's the thing. So that's a good point to bring up because with the video we just watched,
right?
Neuralink solves that problem.
Yes, especially if you're combining it with like prosthetics and stuff like that. Like if you're actually
so
like,
that's a more so like if you're like if I'm an investor and I'm looking at like okay, this is like a
stair step
to Neuralink, right?
Yeah.
But Neuralink could change the world, right? And could change people's lives like for the better. I think that people who are better at home, like this is just like a little taste of what they could get, what the ultimate potential of the technology is. And I think Neuralink gets them as close to that like level to as close to solving that loneliness that I'm assuming so many people in these unfortunate situations like find themselves.
Well, want to see the next one? Let's see what we got.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's see.
This guy makes $5 million a year by selling sex chocolates, and we're going to expose his entire social funnel. This is Oliver Bercato.
I think this guy might be in PF with us.
Starting at the top of his funnel,
I think so.
He took after what I like to call the Andrew Tate model. Andrew Tate had an army of content editors taking his podcast clips, creating accounts.
So I think what he did is Andrew Tate had like a Discord channel, and he had a bunch of like college kids, like all like in Romania and like all over the place. And he's like, It's essentially like a mini pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Where they would like
100%.
all promote their like his academy or YouTube thing. Did you watch the documentary on him?
I didn't. I just I was one of those. I was part of the academy.
You were part of the academy. You got where you were.
I got where I am from him.
Thank you, Andrew Tate. I also learned
He
kickboxing.
He taught me what it's like to be a real man.
Oh Jesus, he was the biggest deal last year. I don't know if he's in prison or not, or what's happening with him.
He's a chauvinist pig.
Yeah.
Affiliate system for his course.
Oh, there's the affiliate system.
Engine idea over to a
wow, this guy has such great energy.
He looks a little bit stoned.
He looks very tired.
He's like, this is my 10th chocolate video this morning.
I think he might need some of this sexual chocolate right now. His vibe is very sleepy.
With the chocolate on his website.
I wonder how many people will go back to buy more sex chocolate, or if it's like a one-time thing.
I mean, if it works, you're bringing in the truck. Back it up.
All right, so yeah, no kidding. Nothing sells more than this. I think
this is like this is the Gen Z version of horny goat weed.
Dude, did we talk about horny goat together?
Maybe.
Dude, horny goat was my bath bomb.
I always talk about horny goat weed. So
scale with this content system is because his product was already.
You know that stuff is like half like fake Adderall.
I want to talk the horny goat weed.
Yeah.
They mix Adderall with the.
Yeah, like extends and all.
Isn't Adderall like the mechanism as close to speed as it like kind of gets? Like, is a similar?
I mean,
mechanism?
I think it's dextroamphetamine is like, so it's an amphetamine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that adds up.
Methamphetamine, dextroamphetamine, you know, close cousins.
We got some cousins in the drug world.
One just gets you a little bit more scabby.
I completely lost my train of thought because he brought up horny goat, and like I already talked about this on the podcast, but one of my business ideas is the sex bath bombs. Did I already pitch you on this?
Maybe.
Essentially, it's like goat milk bath product where you put in a bathtub and then like you get in with your partner and it leads to romantic night out.
My wife is an introvert like you.
Yeah.
Her bath time is for her.
Yeah, light some candles, put on some Toto.
This is why I'm building, Padel United. I'll have
so you can take.
I have the baths there. Yeah, exactly. I honestly I lose patience in a bath. I need to be like, I get bored after.
You need to put like some toys in there, like
rubber duckies or something that. Yeah. Maybe I just need some goat milk or whatever product you're
it makes your
pushing.
skin feel very nice, and it kind of leads to things. But anyways, the idea of like sexy products, right? You got sexy chocolate. Okay. You got sexy bath bombs. You're selling this idea of like it may lead to something, it may not lead to something, but there's some innuendo around it, right? And they're like, "Why are you getting me sex chocolate?" Ha ha ha. Right. And so this guy has a pyramid scheme.
Like a placebo effect on chocolate.
Yeah, you're like, is it working? No. But anyways, this guy has a sex chocolate. He has a pyramid of content creators. Right, that are feeding to the main channel. I think it's called the parent-child marketing strategy. Right. And so I bring this up because one, I think he had a good exit for a sex chocolate, which is like awesome.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
Two, like the strategy for like the marketing that he did kind of makes sense. And like if you go to YouTube and you promote your videos, including with this podcast, right? You can give people creative license to use your videos however you want. And so it kind of opens up the door to other people using your videos. So if you do like Padel videos and you really want it to like feed into the main channel, you say like, hey, I'm going to give you a copyright to this, but I want you to like spin up a bunch of Padel channels that feed into the main.
That's true. We definitely should be doing stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know, is it for me? It's like it's less interesting to me personally.
You're talking about the marketing side of it or the sex chocolate side of it?
What excites me is the experience people have when they're at our facility. Yeah. Right. It's like I started this blog, Padel Mecca, right?
Okay.
The Substack, and my whole goal of that was I wanted week to week, bring people like into my own brain on like what I'm thinking about that week, what the journey has been like, what the experience is like of, going into brick and mortar, into retail, like into this new sport.
Is it kind of like the build in public thing? Like you're taking them along the journey with you?
Exactly. I think that's part of it. And like that's authentic to me, right? Like it's exactly what I'm experiencing like in that moment. And I I enjoy creating, I guess, like that type of content, right?
I think that resonates. I think I might have a video for you. Let me see.
But I do very much love this. If this is the new podcast idea for you, let's just like watching videos and kind of ripping on them. This is,
well, I feel like we could do this in a sauna. We could do this with beers. We could do this.
This is right up my alley. Let's continue.
Well, this resonates. One, they're like absolutely shredded, but we're about to learn about their marketing strategy.
Creator founders are the new marketing playbook for 2000.
You're the creator founder.
All these creator founders are
with your Padel Mecca.
World building. Here's the 3-step blueprint for being a creator founder and having a content strategy that leads to world building. So the first thing that all these creators are doing is documentation. Creators like Marcus Malone.
Is this the same sleepy dude?
He looks a little bit more awake though.
Google Snacks has a day one series of what it's like to be two best friends building a pickle company. This documentation.
I like a pickle company.
Yeah, I love.
I'm on board. Have you been to the pickle guy in town? We'll talk about that.
But I've pickled my own stuff before. It's very easy.
That's homie.
Someone like Nick Bear documents and provides value on
Damn.
To be a hybrid athlete. Another creator I love is Jamesley. He documents his day, but also educates you on the jewelry market.
Yeah, like
I like that they're sharing what they're doing. I like how they're like, this is my factory.
See, like I wouldn't like label this as like the creator economy.
Why not?
I think maybe I just have like a mental block towards that or a negative association with that. But like I think that they're just providing like they're breaking the fourth wall on their life, right?
Yeah,
like
they're Daredevil, like or not.
I think of like creator content more so like their whole business is just the content they're creating, right? But that content is not leading to anything else.
I like yes and no. Like I think that's why it's like full-time creators versus a creator founder. But the good and the bad is that you're seeing the inside of the business. But I don't like if there's an expectation that the founder is also going to be doing YouTube videos every day. Well, like that's daunting. It's like that's a lot.
that's definitely a lot. I'm trying to think of like ones that I really like. I was actually just watching this. Was just following this guy the other day. This week, this guy is he's an ex teacher, public school teacher.
Okay, and
now he's sailing across the Pacific Ocean.
That's awesome.
Like, quit his job. He bought a 27-foot sailboat.
Wait, is this the My Life in a Catamaran kind of thing? And he has a dog, or is this a different?
If he does have a dog, it's dead.
Oh shit! Hopefully, it's a different guy.
I think it's a different guy. But he's on it's supposed to be like a 40-day trip from like Baja, Mexico to French Polynesia.
Big trip.
Yeah, 40 days alone on a boat. Part of this whole thing is he's alone. Like, so I guess he has like 400,000 followers. So I guess he's on Instagram. So I guess
they want to see if they make.
He's a content creator, but he's just creating. His content is just documenting what he's doing, right? I find that interesting. What I find less interesting and more like just annoying is content of people talking about how to create a business, right? Like their business is the content to teach other people how to create a business. It's too meta for me.
There's a little.
Although I guess in that process they are creating a business.
I want to. But
I'm down the wormhole of like the Matrix in that situation. Like,
what things do I like and what things do I not like, and is there a quality bar there? Because like if you're watching, I remember when I was starting a business and I was watching the Y Combinator How to Start a Startup series, and I was like, this is legitimate. Like this is like someone that's like talking about like how to set up a culture of 100+ person company and how it changes over time. Like spot on. But then there's other business content where I'm like, I don't think this guy started a business. I don't think he's
right.
And that's a big portion. I'm like, or he just does drop shipping and some of the stuff doesn't resonate. I don't like that stuff.
So I have a rule of thumb as well where as soon as I've started a new business, I stop looking at any and all like content like that.
General content.
Like, content related to like I stop reading, like I'll read like biographies and stuff like that just because I find them interesting, but I don't read like how-to books or like self-help type of books or and I read a lot of that stuff when I'm not like in business build mode.
Yeah, you're like in a business purgatory or intermission.
I'm not looking at other businesses. I am I'm solely focused on like, okay, I've done enough research. I have ideas. If I have questions on things, I'm going to ask my network. I'll ask, I might reference or look at a book that might have an answer to that problem. But I think one of the problems with like the content creator economy is like there's so much content that like you almost become obsessed with consuming content about starting a business. And then you never end up starting the fucking business.
What is that psychology thing where it's like if you talk about doing something, you get like the dopamine hit, and then you end up not doing it. And it's like inside my head, I built this business and it was fantastic.
Exactly.
I watched all the videos.
And then you have all the excuses of why you didn't other times, right? So like you just like you got to just jump forward and like make that that horny goat weed
or bath product
and do it.
There's a trait that I like. It's called like quick start. I'm not sure if it's like a personality test term or what, but essentially your quick start is what is that barrier between like you hearing an idea, evaluating whether it's a good idea or not, and just doing it, right? Yeah. And like if you're like an entrepreneur and you're like, you hear a good idea, making a podcast or whatever, and you're like, yeah, I'll schedule like 10 interviews and I'll set it up and I'll learn, I'll figure it out. Like sometimes whenever I hear people pitch ideas or what they want to do, or I really want to be an entrepreneur, you can kind of tell like really quickly, you're like, oh, that's, I'm going to check in and that's probably not going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, it's very easy if they're talking about something for too long and not doing it. Yeah. So I'm a big believer in, I talk about like my ideas right away.
Yeah.
Cause it puts me like, and I don't always execute on them. Like there are a lot of business ideas that I've said, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then I end up not doing it. Whether like maybe I was scared, maybe I lost interest in that idea. Who knows? But my entire network, everyone knew I was doing this Padel business well before I started the business.
It was happening.
I was talking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. And then there was a stall because I couldn't find a location. But the second it happened again, I was like, I'm in. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I think we overthink a little bit too much. As a Peter Thiel says this, that like if you've reached perfection, you're already too late, right? Like the idea is that you have to go into any like entrepreneurial endeavor understanding that like it is going to be a fucking shit show.
It's going to be messy. It's going to suck. You're going to hire the wrong people. You're going to set up in the wrong location. Exactly. Change your marketing.
You're going to do like...
You might open up a company called Padel and it's called Padel. You're like,
I was talking to my business partner literally yesterday about this, and we were like discussing our strategy for like membership rollout, right? And this idea of doing like 30 founder members in which they get like an engraved locker, and figuring out like my partner's like, okay, well, what price point are we going to do this at? And what sort of benefits are they going to get? I was going through the list of like, okay, we can do this. We can add, a free like massage per quarter for them. And they can have like a reserved court, same time on a weekly basis for an hour and a half that they can always have like in perpetuity. And a few other things, swag boxes, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, let's charge like a really high amount for this, because we have to value what we're bringing to the table for them, and then deliver on that value. And he's like, okay, but it has to be perfect. And I told him, I was like, no, it doesn't. I was like, it's not going to be perfect. I'm like, he's like, well, we can't back down from this price point. I was like,
you can 100% back down.
We'll figure it out. I was like, I've never run a wellness club before, so I've asked around people what they've done.
Yeah,
some ideas are resonated with me. Other ones I'm like, I don't know necessarily if this is gonna work. I'm like, but what I'm just gonna do is just gonna text 100 people that I know that live in the area. We have a Padel chat with like 200 people in it that are actively like playing on our courts right now while we're not open. We're organizing matches for them. And I said,
a fun thing.
Yeah, we're building up the community like organically.
Yeah.
I view it like going back to our bring this all the way back to our first topic, because so many people have not played Padel. Like I think that like our strategy around like infiltrating this community is like the Sinaloa drug cartel strategy around.
Oh snap! Oh please, you're gonna take over a country now.
I don't want that. I just want to take over Padel. I'm a simple man with simple dreams. No, but like I really believe in the sport. I believe that if you play it once, you play it twice, you're like, oh, I get it. I love it.
Yeah.
So you just got to bring people into that fold a little bit. But with the membership thing, right? I don't know if our price point's gonna make sense. I don't know.
Ballpark. So, where are you thinking? Where are you thinking for
For our founder members,
the founder members?
it's gonna be 30 memberships only.
Yeah,
and it's the same price per month,
I'll
but
tell
the
you,
initiation fee is $5,000.
because I think you had me sold on the locker. I just like a little plaque. Just sounds
Founding member.
nice.
They'll have a bunch of they get their own racket. That's like a high level, like $450 racket we'll give them from one of our racket sponsors like Babolat or Wilson or Adidas. And we'll have like a bunch of like shorts, shirts, gear for them that says like founding member on it.
Did you reach out to the text group? How many, and like say like hypothetically, if we were to offer this, who would be interested? And what did they say?
No, I didn't do that. I'm just I started calling 200 people one at a time.
Did he call them?
I'm sorry. We had this meeting yesterday, so I started yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Response good?
Yeah, so far.
Can we call?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, we'll give it a shot. Oh, we can always edit this out, but I think we're locked in. Good. Who is this person that you're gonna call? It can't be your wife.
No. Also, I'm trying to find someone who like is like the likelihood of them saying no
is 50-50 or
is higher, is like 70-30.
Okay.
I'll say no. So we can experience, hopefully we experience some real failure here on this chat. Let's see.
Shalom.
What's up, Bernie?
What's up?
I'm doing well. I hope, or is this hopefully this vacation thing is gonna happen.
Well, I'm pushing it.
Okay.
I just gave out some dates.
All right, sounds good.
And she's looking it up.
I'm gonna work on. I gotta have a date in mind so I can work on my physique, get it peak ready for then.
I think it's like, at least with Alex, it's more personality than physique. Clearly, you could see like what I look like. So just work on your personality.
That's an easy. Yeah, that's an easy. Just change my personality 100% in a short period of time. That's easy. Okay, I had a question for you. Wanted to bring this up. You're my first call, Bernie, because I know how much you want to feel included and loved. So I haven't brought this up into the Padel chat yet. But we're now 2 weeks away from opening. We're starting to offer. We have a 30 slots for founding members.
Okay.
For the Padel Club. That it's basically our founding tier membership. It's our highest tier membership. You get all the benefits of like the preferred members. On top of that, you get a free racket, you get a handful of free lessons to start, as well as one free lesson per month for you and Alex, and you get a engraved locker in our locker room, a massage per quarter, a bunch of gear, and so we have 30 slots available for this. So obviously, I thought of you as the OG founding member for Padel United.
Very sweet. So yeah, I mean, send me like whatever, like how, like what are we talking about? How much?
$1 million.
$1 million? All right, I'm out.
All right, you know what? I just spoke to my boss. He told me I can get it down to you. It's the regular membership. It's for a family membership. I believe it's $400 a month or $395, and then the founding members an initiation fee of $5,000, one time only.
Wow, sounds amazing. Okay, so can I just let you know? Wait, yeah, I mean, whatever, sign me up. But I just want to, I want to just think about. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Of course, I'm gonna do it.
All right, I love you, and I thank you for the support.
So,
all right, I got 29 other founding member slots now. I promised you were the first.
Amazing. Awesome.
All right, bud. Thank you very much. Right. Thanks for the support. Right. Honestly, I can't wait for you to be the #1 sexiest Padel player in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, I just like, I don't think I'm ever gonna play, but
dude, you're gonna hit the hot tub though.
We're gonna definitely hit the hot tub hard.
Yes, love it.
Yeah,
dude. I just need your name on a locker. That's all I need. I need to walk into my new office every day, see that name, and like generate a smile.
I'd be happy. Okay.
Yeah,
I can do that.
All right. Love you, bud. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Later. Bye.
That's a good friend. Who is this?
It's a friend of mine named Bernie.
I mean, like Bernie's going on vacation with you. Bernie's like,
yes.
You're good on vacation on the body, but maybe work on your personality. And yes to the Padel Club. I may not play the sport, but I will 100% be a founding member.
Yes. It's actually funny because I actually asked him, asked really just like my close friends, hey, do you want to invest, stuff like that. And he, like it wasn't the right fit for him. But so I didn't think he was going to say yes, especially because there is no way he's playing ever.
But he does it because he loves you that much.
His wife is going to play. Okay. Alex is definitely going to play.
I liked how you brought up like, hey, like your wife and you can do lessons like together. It can be like a you thing.
Well, he's very codependent.
I think in every relationship, there's a little bit of codependency. On one side.
This friendship is going to be over after this. I love Bernie.
Bernie, you're on the podcast. Benji will reach out to you at some point, hopefully between now and the 2 months.
No, I'm not even going to tell him. I'm just
all right.
Hope for the best.
Bernie, I'm going to tag you in this. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's awesome that you got to sign up on the founding member. You got a founding member.
There we go.
I almost felt like
9 to go.
You had so many things. Like you had so many things that you were offering. Where
I don't even know. I'm gonna have to listen to that back because that was my first time I live pitched it. I haven't called anyone to sell it. No joke. I want to know. I want the audience members to know here. Like we had the meeting yesterday with me, my partner John, and my CEO of my family office, Christina, and we were talking about what do we need to put together from like a sales pamphlet standpoint on our site for these first 30 members? The visual of it, what does it need to look like? What are the value adds? What are the benefits? And today, while I'm doing this, Christina's actually working on this stuff. So
you should send her this
I literally was like, okay, I will start making calls.
Christina, Benji's putting in work.
Yeah, I will start making calls tomorrow once we get all the information. But honestly, I think it is an important lesson because I think that if you, I'm learning a lesson about myself now. I think it's a scary thing when you're, even though okay, this is gonna get done, but you can always push it off of oh, wait till the content's perfect. Wait till this is you know what? Rip the Band-Aid off. Do the call, see what happens.
I mean, hell, with this podcast, you were one of the first people on it.
Exactly.
I reached out to people. I'm like, hey, there's this thing. It doesn't exist yet. You look at, there's no website, there's no YouTube, there's nothing.
I mean, you don't. Yeah. I'm a narcissist. You tell me you're recording me for an hour, I'm in.
Sold. So Benji, what cracks me up about you is I was like, first time I asked him, where should people go to find you? And you're like, do not find me. Do not look up the Schvitz. Do not look up Padel. But I actually think that people should check out Padel. I do think that they should check out this new sport.
They shouldn't check out the Schvitz. It's for my eyes only right now. I'm learning all the interesting secret sauce of humanity.
These are
not
Benji's
sharing it with anyone.
Private backyard sauna recording videos.
Well, honestly, by the way, one of the recordings I had, the guy was we were getting deep about some stuff. He's like, dude, can you shut off the camera now? He was the guy was telling me some shit. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep the recording, but I'm not gonna share it, I promise. But that's it's kind of part of the problem with the idea, right? Because people get really deep.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's a very intimate environment.
Situation.
Yeah.
Not only are we naked, but we're also talking about real shit, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm just fuck your business. Let's hear the real depressing shit. Make our audience feel better by how shitty your life is.
I think you talked to Andrew, who produces this podcast.
Yeah.
You were talking to him about your idea. And Andrew's like, people are going to be dropping. I don't know how he's going to pull this off. I don't know.
I love it.
Figure it out.
Andrew, you've doubted me. I'm coming for you. Hey, where to find me? Don't, but if you want to, I would say the best place is Padel United Sports Club, PadelUnitedSC.com, PadelUnitedSportsClub.com. We own both domains. On Instagram at Padel UnitedSC. You can look at my blog, which is Padel Mecca. It's on Substack.
That's a wrap. That's
don't find me.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
That wraps up today's episode. For more inspiring stories and valuable lessons from successful entrepreneurs, be sure to listen and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries and writing your next chapter.